Yo, what is going on guys, Storm here, and welcome back to a brand new video. Today we are here for my week 1 battle of the IBL Season 6. This is my battle versus Marolt and the something Slow Kings, Slowbros, sorry. I do not remember the exact team name, I apologize for that. I should probably have looked before this video, but I didn't do that. So anyway, my team for this week is Substriker, Tornai, P2, Megavenu, Zygarde 50, and Weavile, as he chooses to bring Scolipede, Lopunny, Togekiss, Registeel, Vaporeon, and Latias. So let me quickly run through my sets. So my Venusaur is just Sludge Bomb, Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Synthesis. Dual Stab pretty much hit everything. Well, actually, no, it really didn't. He has a Scolipede and a Registeel. Hits every other mon he has at that point pretty well. And with Registeel, I feel like it's pretty safe to say I could just Leech Seed it and sit in front of that until it goes down. With Scoly, like, I definitely didn't have great moves for Scoly. I could have Leech Seeded it, and then I don't know what I would have done at that point. But Venusaur doesn't get great coverage. I guess I maybe could have run like HP Fighting, sorry, HP Fire, HP Flying, something like that. But I just felt like the 4 moves I decided to bring just matched up better against the overall team. Investment-wise, it is max HP, 204 in defense, 28 in speed def, 20 in speed, and 4 in speed attack. I don't know why I have the 4 in speed attack, but that's the 20 in speed, I believe, is it? I don't know what that was to create. Vaporeon? I want to say no. Vaporeon definitely isn't that fast. To create something that tied with me, and I definitely didn't need to put 20 on it, but I was convinced to do it by someone that I built with, so that was fun. And then they didn't even end up bringing the mon that speed tied with Venusaur. Actually, was it Togekiss? No, Togekiss is definitely faster than base 80, right? I think it is. And anyway, I don't know why I would have gone for faster than a, like, I don't know what it was. 28 in speed def is something that he didn't bring, I want to say, because I definitely don't see why I'd have that. And then the 204 in defense is just to take any physical hits from mons like the Scoly and the Lopunny. So, moving on to mon number 2, we have my Tornai with Acrobatics, Superpower, Bulk Up, and Tailwind. Just Dual Stab here really breaks his team. You can see on his team right there, I believe, yeah, half his team is weak to the Dual Stab, and the other 3 do not enjoy taking Acrobatics. You may have noticed I did not have an item, so yeah, that's just to power up my Acrobatics a bit more. Of course, with the ability Prankster, we get the priority Tailwinds, which could be very nice if he tries to, you know, abuse the fact he has some mons that definitely have speed water. Some of my slower mons, i.e. Lopunny, Latias. I'm pretty sure Lopunny actually just outspeeds everything on my team, so getting some stuff that's faster than that is very nice. And then Bulk Up is just, of course, to boost my attack and defense. Mainly attack, so I can just start clicking attacks against him, because he really doesn't have a taunt switching, so that is very nice. Moving on, we have my P2, which is Return, Ice Beam, Toxic, and Recover with the EVO Light. I didn't actually bring the EVO Light. You see, with this P2, you may have heard I had Return there, and I definitely underestimated how long it would take for me to raise the happiness on it. So I was doing that like an hour, or no, I wouldn't say an hour before we battled, but like a bit before we battled, and it took a while. I'm pretty sure I did eventually get it to max, but then I forgot to put the EVO Light back on, so I had Soothe Bell on my P2 in this match, so that was great. But yeah, Return was mainly there in case he tries to like set up with the Lati, that just hits that better, and then also just hits pretty much everything else better than Tri Attack would, so that's pretty nice. And then Ice Beam is there for things like the Togekiss. I want to say he had something that was 4 times weak to Ice, although I can't think of anything off the top of my head that isn't Zygarde, so I don't know. But yeah, and then Toxic and Recover, pretty standard stuff. So yeah, that is here. Moving on, we have my Zygarde, which is Dragonium Z with the 1000 Arrows, Outrage, HPS, and Dragon Dance. Max attack Max Tech Hasty with Max Speed, and then the 4 Insp Attack for the HP Ice. I want to say, did he have a Zygarde 10? Like, that's the only reason I could see me bringing... No, he had a Gliscor. That's what he had. So Gliscor was the reason I had Ice Beam on P2, and the reason I had HP Ice on Zygarde, because it was his 1 arrow. It was his 1 arrow switching on his team. So Zygarde was definitely the kind of end game plan for me here. So yeah, that's that. And then moving on to my Zebstrika, we have the Expert Belt with Sap Sipper as the ability, with the T-Bolt, Overheat, HP Ice, and Flame Charge. Flame Charge is mainly there just because if I get a Flame Charge up, I believe I outspeed everything on this team, which is very nice. Even including Scarfers at that point. Like, I genuinely believe I outspeed everything. I'm pretty sure, is Zebstrika faster than Latias? I feel like it is. Zebstrika is pretty fast. And I have the T-Bolt on there because T-Bolt Overheat HP Ice, like, hits everything, so that's nice. I mean, other than Lati is taking nothing from any of those. Like, even HP Ice doesn't do any damage to Lati. So, other than that, though, hits pretty hard. I have a Max Attack with a Timid Nature with the 236 in speed and 20 on HP. I'm guessing I do outspeed Lati, and that's what I'm creeping. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. I normally am wrong about these things. But I kind of forget, like I don't forget exactly what the team does normally, but I just forget what I speed creep. I feel like it's kind of hard to remember when I don't, like, take notes of it. I might start doing that just so I, you know, don't look stupid in videos and actually remember these things. So, moving on to my final one, we have the Weavile with the Muscle Band and Pressure as the ability, with the Icicle Crash, Knock Off, Low Kick Shard. Pretty much every one of those moves is just kind of standard Weavile stuff. And, you know, he just doesn't switch into Weavile very well. And with the Muscle Band, I get a slight boost of power. Brought the Muscle Band over Life Orb just because, you know, he may be getting up Rock Stats in this game pretty early on with the Registeel, and I didn't bring removal, so it kind of felt like there was no point trying to take extra damage if I don't have to. And the Muscle Band still powers it up a bit, so we just figured that would work a bit better. So, let's get straight into the match. So as you can see, we are challenged by Pokemon Trainer Moreau, and I believe he's going to lead off with his No, he leads Scully as I lead Zebstrika. That is what happens. Now, this was definitely a great lead for me, as, you know, looking at the count, Zebstrika's Overheat just OHKOs on turn 1, and I realized there's, like, no point to overpredict. If he brings out Lati, he brings out Lati. Anything else, that's fine. So I'm just going to Overheat as he just sacks Scully, and I do not know why. Maybe I'm not remembering the count well, but I'm pretty sure even if I wasn't Belt, I still kill him. So, unsure why he did that, but now he's going to bring up the Registeel, and at -2, I'm not doing anything to this, even with Flame Charge. So I'm just going to switch out, I believe, into my Mega Venusaur. Yeah, just so I can get my Mega Evolution up. If he T-Waves me, that's fine, but I figured Rocks would go up here. And if he has T-Wave, he probably would want to do that here. But, I believe here he's just going to switch out into his Lati. Yeah, his Lati definitely was the switch-in. That is the Lati, as I believe I just go for a Leech Seed, as it was kind of the only thing I had there for Registeel, of course, as I mentioned before the game. Maybe he switches in expecting like an Earthquake. I mean, even if he didn't expect that, like, Lati was definitely the best switch in just because he gets this in, and he gets to put a lot of pressure on me, as my only Psychic Resist is a Weavile, which definitely wouldn't take a Draco very well. I'm pretty sure it would live, depending on spread. But here he's actually going to double out into his Lopunny, I do believe, as I go into my P2, as this is actually way before in this game. This is way before I realized my P2 is actually Soothe Bell, not Eviolite. Soothe Bell P2 is the most useless thing, as it really can't take hits very well at all. But I'm going to conserve it here and go back into my Venusaur, as I believe he goes straight for a power-up Punch, which is very scary. I'll say that. I definitely kind of took a bit faster than the game is happening, because he hadn't even got to start Mega Evolving by the time I said that. But yeah, he does go for a Power Punch. And +1, if he's like Power Punch Last Resort, that's going to body me right now. And I'm just going to go for a Sludge Bomb here. I know I can take a Last Resort. I figured if it was Return, I could probably Synthesis this turn, but I wasn't confident it would be Return, so I kind of had to just Sludge Bomb. We did a good chunk, like 49%, I want to say, just under 50. So, Now I'm going to switch out on my Zip Striker. I realized I need to get Torn in right now. Torn is the only thing that prevents me just losing here. And, you know, I need to pick a sack to get Torn in. So, goodbye to Zip Striker. You were definitely the weakest mon for me at this point. You already did exactly what I needed you to do. And now I can bring out my Torn. So best case scenario here is him actually thinking I'm Scarf Torn and switching out and not expecting the Tailwind. And that is exactly what happened. So that is really good for us. As he's going to bring out the Registeel, as I'm just going to get my Tailwind straight up here, and, you know, at this point, I feel like I'm pretty sure I just Superpower, since I kind of wanted to scout if he had a Resist Berry to this, and if he doesn't, this is going to do a pretty good chunk. We do like 60% with a crit there, which critting him definitely sucks for him, but pretty great for me, as we do see the Rookie Helmet, which wasn't too surprising, so that's very nice, as he does go for a Toxic here, which is nice, since he doesn't prevent me coming in again, which I'm pretty sure if he S-tossed here, he definitely would have done that, so that's very good. But now, I know I won't kill him here. I figured there's no reason to stay in. I can just bring out Weavile, and try and hit him with a low kick, knock off, something like that, as he goes for the rest here, which, you know, definitely isn't great for me. I figured the rest, I didn't even really think about rest being an option, but I am glad I switched out my Torn there, because otherwise it would not have been able to come in again, and I made it need it a bit later on for the Lopunny to get Tailwind up again. So here I'm just going to go for a knockoff. I want to knock off the helmet, but he is actually just going to switch into his Vaporeon, which is a very safe Weavile switch in, taking about, I'm going to say like 40% from that, which is fine. And here he's just going to, I believe, just go for a Scold, I want to say, on my Venusaur. Yeah, he definitely just Scolds here, which I figured was coming off, but I knew I could live it, and then I knew I could put my Venusaur back up to good health, so that's completely fine. Luckily, I don't get burned. I don't know if burn would have KO'd there, but it would have been bad if I did get burnt. Now, I knew I was giving a free switch into anything at this point, because I need to Synthesis. There's nothing else I can do at this point. It was the only play, so I had to click it, but it gives him a free switch into Lopunny, which was not the amount I was expecting, so I'm just going to go for a Sludge Bomb, as this man reveals the Encore, and it seems extremely clear to me now that he genuinely brought this Lopunny to do this to Venusaur, and then Power Punch on it. And at this point, I'm going to make a very, very bad play. I'm going to go out straight into my Torn here. Well, I don't think it was a bad play. I went into Torn hoping that there was a chance I could live the Power Punch plus Tailwind, as I couldn't really sack anything since I didn't need everything at this point. And he doesn't go for a Power Punch, which is perfect, because it means, you know, of course, he doesn't have the +1, meaning I'm not as concerned about this Lopunny. So now I can go back into my Venusaur, and without the +1, I mean, Lopunny's definitely not the biggest threat. So here I'm just going to Sludge Bomb, I do believe, as I want to say he just goes into his Colossus again. Yeah. This is really his only mon to take a Sludge Bomb at this point, so that's fine by me. I want to say now I'm going to switch out. He's definitely doubling here. I believe he doubles into Togekiss. I believe, yeah, that is the Togekiss, as I'm pretty sure I doubled into P2. No, I just did here. I figured there wasn't... I actually didn't have a switch into Registeel, so... Well, I had Zygarde, but I couldn't risk him having, like, him getting a Sleep Talk Toxic at this point. He'd shown... Yeah, he'd shown Toxic. What did he shown on Registeel? Toxic, Rocks, Rest. So, it actually makes a lot of sense he didn't have Sleep Talk, but I honestly didn't realize in the battle that he'd shown those. And even if he didn't, there was still a chance he had, Sleep Talk, and if he got Sleep Talk Toxic on Zygarde, that would have been very bad for me, since Zygarde was my late game sweeper. So now I go into P2, and after taking that air slash damage, I realized that I don't have an EVO-Light, and he's going to get a nasty blood up with Togekiss here, which, I mean, is fine by me. Like, this P2, not having an EVO-Light makes it, honestly, like, semi-useless, so this is fine. I mean, he's definitely, with the damage he's taken from Leech Seed, he's 100% in Weavile range. So, as long as I can get this revenge kill with Weavile, that is completely fine by me. Him knocking out my P2 him. Now, I was hoping that maybe I could get a Toxic off this turn if I don't get flinched. As you're going to see, like, that doesn't even do that much. Unfortunately, I don't get a Toxic up, as he does flinch me. So, he didn't even do that much, even with Soothe Bell. Like, if I was EVO-Light, I definitely would have taken that pretty nicely. Assuming he probably still would have, like, free hit KO me, but it would have at least prevented the 2-hit KO, as he actually reveals the Aura Sphere here, not wanting to risk an S/ roll, so that's fine by me. I believe now I'm going to bring out my Weavile, as it was really the only play at this point. Like, +2 Togekiss kind of bodies me at this point. You know, without my Zip Striker, without my Torn, Weavile is the only play. I mean, Torn's not really a play anyway at this point, or any point, but, you know. So Weavile's going to come straight out, and in my opinion, he actually makes a choke here by staying in. Like, he had a Vaporeon, he had a Registeel. The play was never to give me Togekiss. That could have been really good for my Venusaur in the endgame, but I guess it makes sense. You still have like Lati for the Venusaur, so that's completely fine. And it does give him a free switch and a Lop, as, you know, I can't really prevent this at this point. I kind of have to just stay in and Shard, and if he Power Punches, then I'm going to have to go Venusaur and Sludge Bomb and hope it takes him out, which it always should. But he actually reveals Drain Punch as a 4th move, and in my mind this was a huge misplay, because here I'm going to go Zygarde now, because I know he doesn't have Ice Punch. Now, I believe Zygarde was always my play at this point. Even if he didn't reveal Drain Punch there, I probably would have still gone Zygarde, but it would have been, I would have maybe considered going Venusaur. But, you know, if I go Venusaur, I just get this KO, and then he just wins the game with Lati at that point. So I have to go Zygarde now, and I have to Dragon Dance. It's the only play I have. Now, with how much that Drain Punch did, I was thinking there'd be a chance Return would kill me, so I don't actually think there was. So this was a choke, but I'm just going to go for an Outrage here. So if he Scarf Lati, the game is now over. Like, he just comes in with Lati at this point and revenges me if he is. But down goes the Lopunny, and he's going to send out Colossus, and this was good. This straight away means that he does not have a Scarf Lati. If he had it, he would have sent it out here and just won the game. But him not sending it out convinces me he doesn't have it. So I'm going to go for the Outrage, which I was locked into. I'm going to get confused here, take a bit of Rocky Helmet damage, and he reveals to not have Sleep Talk, which was kind of obvious. So at this point, the game comes down to hitting myself in confusion. If I hit myself once, I think I lose. So I'm going to hit him with an Arrows here, and at +1 he actually does live, which is why if I hit myself in confusion either time it would matter, because if I hit myself this turn or the next turn, then Registeel will just knock me out, and at that point the Lati can win. But I get really lucky, at least against Registeel, and do not hit myself once. So Registeel is gone. However, the chance of me losing definitely isn't. I win this game if I don't hit myself in confusion. And I'm assuming that Dragonium just knocks out this Vaporeon. So luckily I'm just going to snap out of confusion here, and I'm going to go for the Dragonium. And yeah, this Vaporeon is gone. And the fact that he didn't go in a Lati earlier shows me he's not Scarfed, and even if he is, he cannot lock a move that KOs both Mons at this point. So, you know, that is going to just be that whole game at this point. I'm going to go for the Devastating Drake, and this is easily just going to knock out Katara. The animation on that move is so good. I love that animation. But, yep, now he has to send back out Fridge, and this will just die to an Outrage from where it is at. And yeah, that is going to be the whole game. Good games in a row. This was a pretty close game. Overall, I mean, it was a 2-0 win, I believe, in my favor, with just Zygarde and Venusaur. I feel like he really had a lot of momentum this whole game, and he just was able to keep ahead of me this whole game, especially with Mons left. Like, I believe he was up, what, 4-2, and then I was just able to bring in Zygarde and just win, as he really hadn't kept anything to beat a +1 Zygarde, which I do feel like was a pretty big choke on his end. You know, not having Ice Punch on Lopunny was definitely a misplay. Like, I do like the set of Power Punch, Drain Punch, Return, and Encore, but I feel like maybe you didn't need Drain Punch. You should have run Ice Punch instead. I get that you had Drain Punch for mainly the P2, but I'm pretty sure a +1 Return is still going to do a lot of damage to P2. And not having Ice Punch genuinely... Well, actually, it didn't cost you the game here, because, I mean, an Ice Punch definitely didn't OHKO Zygarde, but it would have done a lot of damage. And, you know, it just proved to me you had nothing for that +1 Zygarde. Like, sacking off Scolipede turn 1 also made 0 sense. You had a perfectly good switch into my Zip Striker in the Lati. So I really don't get why the Scolipede was sacked turn 1. I was expecting him to be sashed when he led with it, but then I just O-code it, and I was extremely confused on that play. And then also sacking Togekiss was kind of confusing, because I'm actually pretty sure from where Togekiss was at before Weavile knocked it out, it may have actually lived a +1 arrows pretty easily. So, again, I'm pretty confused at some of the plays Marot made in this one. I mean, I'll take the win, and he made some pretty good plays as well. Like, Encore on Lopunny was actually really good prep on his end, and that definitely messed me up. And then just not being able to beat that Registeel very easily also was just messing me up. And you know, he was able to put himself in a good position very early on, but you know, just the end game just wasn't. He just didn't have what he needed to have at the end game of that match. So at the end of the match. So yeah, that is going to be my week 1 battle for IBL. Next week we take on Dreadful Dragonite, coach of the Los Ampharos. We've actually played him twice in the format, both in PCL and D-League recently. We 4-0'd him in the regular season, and I'm not actually... Yeah, playoff game would definitely be out. No, it won't. By the time this video goes out, playoff video should be out, but it definitely isn't, because I haven't even recorded it yet, because I'm so far behind on PCL uploads. But go check it out on Dread's side. That was certainly a match, but hopefully we can have a pretty nice match here in IBL. And yeah, I mean, that's next week. Let's see if we can go 2-0. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.